Welcome to Foxcast. This is episode number 3. I'm Chris Kitchen. So far this year we've seen a lot of new entrants come to the event, and what better way to give you an insight into the history of the event than to interview one half of the brains behind the late 100, Mark Laithwaite.
Hello Chris.
Hi Mark, you okay?
I'm very well.
Okay, so just a few questions I want to crack on with if you don't mind, and I'm sure you'll be able to provide everybody with an insight into the late 100. So to start with, let's go back to when did it all start and why?
It started back in very early 2008. I had some friends who were taking part in the UTMB, and they came back from France and said, "Oh, it'd be great to have a trail race over here. It's 100 miles, and there wasn't a race of that sort in the Lake District at the time, and they didn't really fancy the idea of travelling to France every year. So that's really how it came about. So a friend of mine, we basically just sat down in his kitchen, and he had a 1 to 40,000 map of the Lake District, and basically just drew a route on the map and said, "Oh, look, that adds up to just over 100 miles, and let's do it." And we ran it in 2008 with, I think there was only about 30 something finished in the 50, and about 11 people finished the 100 that year. So it was a very small affair. That's really how it took off.
Wow. So what's happened since that time? Why do you think it's grown the way it has? Did you see it growing?
No, we didn't see it growing at all really. It was never intended to be anything that big. It was, I think, looking back, it's interesting, the logistics of the event now, if we'd known that we'd have this many competitors, we probably would have organised it differently on a different course. So the route was very much designed for a small number of competitors. So some of the checkpoints were a real pain to get food with. There's no food, there's no water there, so we have to drive Bowsers into very remote locations, and it can only cater for a certain number of people as well. So it outgrew our kind of biggest expectations, but yeah, I think we would have organised it differently if we'd known there were this many people taking part. And I think the growth is just down to, I think there's been a big growth in endurance sports over the last few years, and people taking on different challenges, and in ultra trail running in particular, it's a real growth area. So I think it was just lucky we were here at the right time, really.
Okay, brilliant. So for first timers, what type of things should they expect?
I think if you're a first timer, coming doing the 50 and the 100, what I would say is the event itself, it's not about coming to try and get a time. So you're not here to try and get a fast time over a 50-mile course. So it's more about the experience and about the whole weekend and the people you meet and the scenery and all the other things I experienced with the weekend. So don't come with a set time in mind or a set position that you want to finish. I think it's more about just coming and enjoying the course, enjoying the whole atmosphere and all the things that go on there, and just embracing the whole weekend really. And it's more of an experience and a journey than an actual race. So that would be my advice, just to soak the whole thing up and enjoy everything about the weekend.
Brilliant. So have you got any standout memories? What are your memories of the event? Anything in particular?
First year, 2008, if I remember the first year we organised it, I was at the Kentmere checkpoint, and I said there was only 11 people finished the 100 that year, so imagine Kentmere was just me and Paul Cosgrove, who was working for Montaigne at the time, and his dog. And I remember his dog barking at a wall in the village hall, and we made a joke about it being haunted. And as his dog was barking, a large oil painting fell off the wall, and we were both slightly concerned by that. And sat in that checkpoint with nobody there, and it was a stormy night, and there was lightning, and it was pouring down with rain. And I can remember wandering outside into the darkness because we had 4 runners out of the 11 outstanding, and just thinking, what are we doing here? What have we organised? And I think I was, that kind of responsibility struck me at that time as well. So that from 2008, that in particular. 2009, there was a race between, Andy, I can't remember his surname now, and Steve Birkinshaw, who won it the first year, he was in second place. And at the time in Ambleside, the checkpoint was used to be Lakes Runner, which was a shock, and it's gone now, Lakes Runner, and there's a cafe still there. But he reached that checkpoint, and he was so shattered. Barnsley, the lad who ran the shop at the time, who was one of the guys who was making the setting the event up, he said to Barnsley, "Look, I need to sleep." And he was 20 minutes behind the leader at this point in second place. He said, "I need to sleep." And Barnsley said, well, just, have 20 minutes, but I'll wake you up in 20 minutes so you don't fall any further behind. And Steve Birkinshaw lay on it was a stone doorstep, and the shop was still open. And people were coming in and out of the shop, purchasing things, stepping over Steve Birkinshaw lying on a stone step. And he'd only just nodded off. He must have been asleep 3 or 4 minutes, and people are walking over him, and Barnsley woke him up and screamed at him that he'd been asleep for an hour. And there was a panic on his face, and he jumped up and just sprinted off through Amblesides because he thought he'd been asleep for a full hour and he'd been sleeping for 4 minutes. I think every year that's part of the event. So every year you get such funny stories and things that from the event, and that's one of the. I keep saying I'm going to put a book together one day of all these funny stories and publish it because I think that sums up the event for me. I can't remember the times that people run. I'm rubbish at remembering records, but I can remember all these weird stories and things that people experience over the weekend. So I think that pretty much sums up the event for me.
Wow, fantastic. Some good stories. Right, well, a final question I'm sure everybody wants to know. How did Mr. Fox get involved with the whole process?
Mr. Fox. I mean, he's a bit of a pain in the backside, really. We basically Angela, who runs the shop in the endurance store, she used to chuck a bit of we put some bread and milk out because we had some hedgehogs outside in the front of the shop, and she put a bowl of bread and milk out, and then we noticed that this fox was lingering, on where the fence is at the front of the patio, and he just started, I'd come in the mornings and go in the evenings, and he'd be sat outside and with a couple of cans of Stella, just sat on the fence doing nothing. So eventually we took pity on him and just befriended him, and started speaking to him. And he just generally just lingers around the shop now, and we can't get rid of him. He seems to be part of the furniture. So he seems to make quite a famous name for himself. I know he's been contacted by Hello Magazine last week. That's how it all started from feeding the hedgehogs, and these things happen.
Wow. Okay. So he's very much here to stay then.
Here to stay, unfortunately.
Yeah. Right, okay, before we move on to Legends Questions Answered, we're just going to go through what's coming up. So Mark, would you like to take us away?
Yeah, we've got loads coming up in the next couple of weeks. We've got the October 10K Challenge, and you can find out more information about that on the Montane Trail 26 Facebook page. And you basically need to join up to the Trail 26 Strava Club. And next Wednesday the 14th, you simply run 10K, upload it to Strava, and as long as you're a member of our Trail 26 club, we'll take a random draw from all the people that run 10K, and we donate £250 to a random person who to a charity of their choice. But we're also going to have some prizes for the fastest 10K for the male and female as well, so a few other surprises in there. So, join up with Strava and get involved with that next Wednesday.
Okay. If I was to run slightly under or slightly over, am I still counted?
Well, the idea is because it's going to be an online 10K race technically, so you've got to try and run 10K. So if you're running 8 miles on the evening, that's fine, but record 10K of it, and that will count as your 10K segment. So we really bang on 10K.
Okay, perfect.
We've also, of course, back runs have started. So back runs, we've not started yet. They start this evening. We've got get off. We're not finished yet. Just get off and wait for us to finish. The back runs start this evening. Back runs start this evening, and it's a free race every Tuesday night at the endurance store. And we mark the course with reflective signs. And we usually get a load of local runners come down. It's very social, free cake and coffee after the event. So they start this evening. So yes, everybody's welcome to come down and take part in those. And you can find out on our Endurance Store Facebook page. You'll see details on there.
Can you show me how to do that for future?
What, to get rid of Mr. Fox?
Yeah.
You just got to be firm, Chris. Just got to be firm.
Right. Okay. Lesson learnt.
Yeah.
Right, Mark. Okay. Well, thanks for your time. I know you're busy. You've got your day job to get back to, so I really appreciate you coming in today and answering some questions.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, Chris, and thanks. I'll hand over to the Fox.
Right. Legends questions answered. Okay, are you ready, Mr. Fox? We've got plenty of questions for you this week.
I'm ready, Chris. We've got some good ones because the last week's have been absolute rubbish.
Right, okay, much better this week. Tim Scurry has asked, Delamere Spartans running the Mardale checkpoint is for food gluten-free.
Is the food gluten-free at the Delamere Spartans checkpoint? Well, I think, Chris, it could very well be gluten-free, because the Delamere Spartans, they're like typical Cheshire brigade. You know what they're all like, those people who live in Cheshire. Look down on the middle classes, that kind of thing. When by the time they get to Mardale, they have to make sure they park the Range Rovers in the right order, get feng shui right and all that. I think having seen evidence of, they put like coconut oil in the coffee and weird stuff like that. So I would expect it to be all vegan and gluten-free at the Delamere Spartans checkpoint, Chris lad.
Right, okay, thank you. Right, well, on the subject of food, Simon Blackman has stated that the Cumbria Countryside Alliance is getting stronger, and Di Newton has asked, do you prefer your lamb with mint or blackcurrant sauce? And Tony Allen has said that fox tastes like chickens and any chance of getting fox soup at some of the checkpoints next year.
I can't possibly comment on eating meat, lad. I don't eat meat, Chris. I'm one of them Rastafarians.
Oh, what do you eat?
Well, this is a problem, Chris lad. I'm trying to work out what the correct nutrition is for me for the Lakeland 100, but I haven't got any ideas. Have you, Christopher?
Yeah. Calories.
What's that?
Chia Charge.
Chia Charge? Chia Charge? A charge of Chia? Hey, that's the future, that's beautiful. That's bloody beautiful. That's the future, that Chia Charge. I'll try them, Chris lad, I'll try them.
Yeah, good. Right, okay, well moving on.
Hold on.
Debbie Martin Consani. Since the last Foxcast, her husband is no longer speaking to her. Have you got any advice?
Well, it's very difficult for that couple, and I know they have problems. Once Debbie sampled the fox, it must be very hard, to go back to a normal married life. But I think, it's really this time that she has got to move on. And I think it must be tough for that lad. I've said it before and I'll say it again. If she keeps beating in every running race they do, he must be suffering psychologically. I think it's time they moved on, that couple, and patched up their relationship. And I think that, the restraining order I've taken out on Debbie will help them to move forward in their marriage.
Right, okay. Fantastic. Right, okay. Mike Churchyard.
Mark Churchyard.
Yeah, he's asked if you pulled a Scotney at the Lakeland one. Apparently there's video footage of you jumping into a hedge after only 200 metres. Is this true?
Did I pull a Scotney?
Yeah.
In the 1K, sorry, that was a chilly, remember. Did I pull a Scotney?
That's right.
Chris, there is video evidence on Facebook of me pulling out of the children's 1K after 300 metres. But I think if you read my blog, you would know that was always my intention. I was training for the World's 1K Championships 4 weeks later, and my intention was only ever to go to 300 metres and then withdraw from the race.
Okay, well, there you have it. Okay, Ingrid Howells has asked, are you following a training plan?
Chris, it's not all about physical training, it's about the mind as well, you lad.
Okay. Well, have you done any running?
Look, there are a lot more things in running, Chris. Visualisation is very important. What I do, Chris, I visualise, because it's very important to train the mind and picture those different scenarios. Got to have a plan A, a plan B and a plan C.
Yeah, but this is a 100-mile running race. Have you done any running?
Chris, because it's a 100-mile running race, there is far more comes into it than doing running. The psychology, you ask any of these top ultra lads, they'll tell you it's all about the mind, it's all about the psychology. It's not just about running.
So no?
No.
Okay. Right, well, moving on then. Amanda Kirby has asked, can she lick your face?
That could be a tricky one, young Chris lad.
Why is that?
Well, because that Demi Martin Kinsani gets very jealous. So I think I'm going to have to say, on camera, no. Off camera, give me your email.
Right, so to finish, all good shows have theme tunes. So what we're looking for is we're looking for someone or a group So you can do it with your running club, to film themselves having written a theme tune and then sing the theme tune.
I can do that, Chris, I can do that. Write the theme tune, sing the theme tune.
No, we're looking for somebody else to write the theme tune, sing the theme tune. They need to post it on Facebook, and we're going to use the best one, and we'll use it for all future Foxcast episodes. So get recording, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.